Hello hockey fans, and welcome back to another video. I was originally intending on releasing a completely different upload for this Sunday, but unfortunately I kinda ran out of time to get the whole thing put together. So apologies for that guys, but it is what it is, right? Now instead of leaving you with absolutely nothing to watch this weekend, I thought it could be fun to put my NHL knowledge to the test. And in order to do that, let's play some NHL quizzes. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am on the NHL's official website to try some of their quizzes and put my hockey knowledge to the test. Some of you might remember that I made a video doing some of these quizzes last year, and I really enjoyed them. I thought they were quite fun. I didn't maybe do as well as I would have wanted to, but here's hoping that I've brushed up on my knowledge since then, and we can get the job done this time, right? Now, the keener-eyed amongst you may have seen that I have highlighted 3 different quizzes that I'd like to do in this video. First up, the Alexander Ovechkin Trivia. Obviously, he is the 8th member of the 700 goal club in the league, and I'd like to test my trivia on both his career and his historic achievement. Also, the Winter Classic quiz. The Winter Classic has been around pretty much as long as I've been a fan of the league, so I want to test my knowledge of the NHL's grand New Year's Day tradition and see if I've actually picked up anything about the event during my fandom. And last but by no means least, I want to do the ultimate 25 question quiz on the Stanley Cup. I need to see if the hockey historian within me has actually picked up some of this knowledge, and I need to know how much I actually know about the greatest trophy in the sport. So we've got some pretty interesting quizzes, a variety of different things we're going to talk about. So let's begin with the Alexander Ovechkin trivia and see how we do, right? Ready for this quiz? You know I'm ready. So, question 1. Alexander Ovechkin was drafted first overall in the 2004 NHL draft. Who was selected second? Either Andrew Ladd, Blake Wheeler, Evgeny Malkin, or Bobby Ryan. Now, I'm pretty sure the answer is Evgeny Malkin. I remember he was drafted at the same time and he was a second overall draft pick. Crosby was the first overall pick the next year, and they already had Malkin in the organization when they drafted Crosby. So I'm going to go Evgeny Malkin for question 1. Seems pretty easy, let's move on. Question 2. In what year did Ovechkin score this incredible goal? Now, there's a video that we can play, but obviously I'm not going to play it because I don't want to get copyright struck by the league. But for those of you who've forgotten, it was that incredible diving behind the back sweep that Ovechkin did against the Phoenix Coyotes, back when they were known as Phoenix, of course. And the answers we have are either 2005, 2006, 2007, or 2008. Now, I'm not 100% sure on the answer for this question. Obviously, Ovechkin didn't play his rookie year till the 05-06 season because of the lockout, but was it during the latter half of 2005, or was it during the rest of 2006? Because I'm pretty sure it was during his rookie year. I'm making that assumption, I'm making that decision. I think it was during his rookie year. The question is, when during his rookie year? Was it early on, or was it later on in the year? I'm going to say 2006 because that also covers me for the start of the 06-07 season as well, so I might not be 100% right on that one. You can shout at me in the comments if I get this wrong. I would expect nothing less from you guys, so 2006, that's what I'm going with. Question 3. Ovechkin has the most points amongst Russian-born players in NHL history. Who ranks second? Either Sergei Fedorov, Pavel Datsyuk, Pavel Bure, or Ilya Kovalchuk. Well, first of all, Ovechkin being the highest scoring Russian player in league history, what an incredible achievement by the great 8, right? And his career is by no means done anytime soon either, so he's going to firmly cement himself in that position. Congratulations to him, that's a great achievement to have. But in terms of answering this question, I don't think it's Pavel Datsyuk because he didn't score over 1,000 points in his career. I don't think it was Ilya Kovalchuk because he didn't play long enough in the NHL in order to finish second overall. So it's between Fedorov and Bure for me. Now, I feel like Sergei Fedorov is the type of guy, he was a productive player during his career. He barely cracked 100 points during the best years of his career, and he was either the 2 or 3 guy in that Detroit Red Wings dynasty. He was never the superstar on that team. He was a solid player, solid star, but not a superstar, you know? However, Pavel Bure, he joined the league earlier than Sergei Fedorov did, as far as I'm aware. Bure was the first Russian player to defect from the Soviet Union. So I'm going to go Pavel Bure. He was a superstar in Vancouver, and he had a long and successful career in the league, as did Fedorov, but I'm going to go with Pavel Bure for question 3. Number 4. Which goaltender did Ovechkin beat for his 500th NHL goal? Oh, okay, this is a difficult one, because the options we've got are Craig Anderson, Andrew Hammond, Mike Condon, or Robin Lehner. Now, Anderson and Lehner are the only 2 starting netminders in that group. Then you've got a one-hit wonder in Andrew Hammond, and a career backup guy in Mike Condon, so this really is a crapshoot for me. I have absolutely no idea how to answer this. Obviously, the video they've put up there might help me, but I'm not going to play it. So I'm going to take a wild guess here. I'm going to go with Andrew Hammond. I'm going to say it's Hammond. I'm probably wrong on this one. I'm not going to go look it up and cheat. Andrew Hammond. Question 5. How many goals did Ovechkin score in the 2018 Stanley Cup Final? Either 2, 3, 4, or 5. I have absolutely no idea the answer to this question, folks. It's crazy to me that the 2018 Stanley Cup Final was 4 years ago now. Time has really flown by recently. I'm gonna take a lucky guess here. My favourite number's 3. Let's go 3. I'm not sure if that's correct. Let me know. Question 6. Who did Ovechkin hand the Stanley Cup to after winning in 2018? Either Nicholas Backstrom, TJ Oshie, Brooks Orpik, or Jay Beagle. I think it's gotta be Nicholas Backstrom here, right? Because those two have been line mates for as long as anyone can remember, for the majority of their careers now. Backstrom and Ovechkin have been pretty much thick as thieves since they joined the league and have become line mates. They're as tight as anything, so I'm gonna go Backstrom for this one, because they're practically besties, right? Penultimately, question 7. How many 40-goal seasons does Ovechkin have in his NHL career? Either 9, 10, 11, or 12. Now, remember, I believe this quiz was released in 2020 during the pandemic, so his recent play, his last couple of seasons, won't be added onto this. I'm pretty sure at the time he has 9 40-goal seasons, because he's trying to beat Mike Bossy's record, because Bossy has 10 40-goal seasons, or is it consecutive 40-goal seasons, or 30-goal seasons? I can't remember. Mike Bossy was an incredible goal scorer, but I'm going to go 9 40-goal seasons in Ovechkin's career so far. If he had 11 or 12, I feel like I'd remember it, and 10, I'm not 100% sure. Once again, I have not done any research for this, so I might be completely wrong on this, but let's go with 40-goal seasons, 9, and hope for the best. And finally, question number 8. Ovechkin is the second fastest player to 700 NHL goals. Who is third? Phil Esposito, Jaromir Jagr, Brett Hull, or Marcel Dion? Okay, so who is the third fastest player to 700 NHL goals in his career? Marcel Dion was known as an incredible goal scorer during his career, as was Brett Hull. Jaromir Jagr was known as kind of a playmaker kind of guy. He had just as many assists as he had goals as far as I'm aware, so I'm not sure it's Jagr. And Phil Esposito. Do we go for Esposito because he was the first one amongst that group? Do we go with Dion because he was a very underrated guy during his career? Or do we go with Brett Hull because he was one of the only players to pot 80 goals in a season? So, this is a tough one. I'm going to have an absolute guess with this one again. I'm going to go with Brett Hull. Let's go with Brett Hull. I'm probably wrong, but let's see how we did. 6 out of 8. Okay, I'll take that, ladies and gentlemen. So question 1, Evgeny Malkin was the second draft pick in the 2004 NHL draft behind Alexander Ovechkin, so I was right on that one. It was 2006 that Ovechkin scored that goal, January 16th, 2006, so I knew it was his rookie year. It was just a question of whether it was before the new year or after the new year, and it was just after the new year, so well done me. Sergei Fedorov is the second highest Russian-born point scorer in NHL history with 1,179 points, so I got that one wrong. Sergei Fedorov was a solid player throughout his career. Clearly, he kind of went under the radar for me because I didn't know it was him. I thought it was Bure. Question 4, was Andrew Hammond? A lucky guess from me, but Senators goaltender Andrew Hammond allowed Ovechkin to score his 500th NHL goal on January 10th, 2016, almost a decade after scoring that incredible goal against the Coyotes, funnily enough. How many goals did Ovechkin score in the 2018 Stanley Cup Final? 3. Lucky number 3 for me, and I get the job done. He scored 3 goals in the 5-game series, so well done to Ovechkin, and well done to me for getting that. Who did Ovechkin hand the Stanley Cup to? Nicholas Backstrom. I'm not surprised at all. He was the first man to give it to because they're practically besties, as I said. How many 40-goal seasons did Ovechkin have in his NHL career? 11, okay. So he scored his 40th goal this season on February 4th to mark his 11th 40-goal season, so well done to Ovechkin. I was terribly wrong on that one. He just goes to show that he surpasses all expectations. And then Ovechkin is the second fastest to 700 goals. It was Brett Hull who did so in 1,157 games. 700 goals in 1,100 games. Brett Hull was an absolute goal-scoring stud, as is Ovechkin, as is practically every other person on that list, but 6 out of 8, I'm pretty happy with that result. Could have been better, could have been far worse. Got some lucky guesses right, got some other ones wrong that I probably should have got right. But anyway, let's move on to the next one, shall we? We have the Winter Classic quiz now, which is going to test our knowledge of the NHL's Grand New Year's Day tradition. I'm ready for it, I hope you guys are too. Let's get on with it, shall we? So question 1, which home team was the first to win an NHL Winter Classic? Was it the Boston Bruins, the Chicago Blackhawks, the Detroit Red Wings, or the New York Rangers? Now, I believe the New York Rangers didn't play a Winter Classic until 2012, if I'm not mistaken, so I don't believe it was them, although they did win it. The Boston Bruins didn't play one till slightly later either, because the first one took place in 2008, I believe. and I think that either the second or third Winter Classic was the Chicago Blackhawks versus the Detroit Red Wings. The Chicago Blackhawks was the home team, and I think they won that competition. I'm not entirely sure. Boston, maybe they played the one before, the 2009 Winter Classic against Pittsburgh or something. I'm not 100% sure on this, but I'm going to go with the Chicago Blackhawks. I think they're the first one. My other guess would be Boston, but I'm going to go with the Blackhawks. Let's see how we do. Question 2. Who was denied by Henrik Lundqvist on this penalty shot in the 2012 Winter Classic? Was it Scott Hartnell, Danny Briere, Claude Giroux, or Braden Shen? Now, I remember this play very distinctly early on in my NHL fandom because Jaromir Jagr was infracted upon a play or something, or he took a hit during the game and he decided to leave the ice completely. He didn't take his own penalty shot, so somebody else came out and took the shot for him, if I'm not mistaken. Now, it's between Danny Briere or Claude Giroux. I believe the number on the guy's jersey, he's an alternate captain of the team, and it's 43, I think I see there. I'm not going to play the video, of course. I'm going to go with Danny Briere. I think it was Danny Briere that he stopped the shot on, because Claude Giroux was the captain of the team at the time, if I'm not mistaken. Braden Shen hadn't come into his own yet, and they wouldn't have Scott Hartnell taking a penalty shot, so let's go with Danny Briere. Number 3, 2 teams from Canada have played in the Winter Classic. Who are they? Is it the Calgary Flames and the Montreal Canadiens, the Edmonton Oilers and the Montreal Canadiens, the Edmonton Oilers and the Toronto Maple Leafs, or the Montreal Canadiens and the Toronto Maple Leafs? I'm 100% sure it is the Montreal Canadiens and the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Leafs played against the Red Wings in 2014, I believe, and Boston played Montreal during one of them as well. I can't remember what year that was, 2016 if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it's Montreal and Toronto. Pretty easy one. Let's move on. Question 4. Who did Sidney Crosby beat for this shootout goal to win the 2008 Winter Classic? Was it Robin Lehner, Marty Biron, Ryan Miller, or Dominik Hasek? Now, it was the Buffalo Sabres that they played during this competition. It was the very first Winter Classic, Pittsburgh versus Buffalo, and I'm pretty sure it was Ryan Miller. He was the starting netminder of the Sabres at the time. It was way past Hasek's day. Robin Lehner hadn't really found his way into the league yet, and Marty Biron was no longer with the Sabres as far as I'm aware. So I feel like this is quite a comfortable guess for me. I'm going to go with Ryan Miller. Question 5. Which team has appeared in the Winter Classic 4 times more than any other? Is it the Boston Bruins, the Chicago Blackhawks, the Detroit Red Wings, or the Washington Capitals? I think everybody watching this already knows it's the Chicago Blackhawks. They're an original 6 team. They pull in a lot of viewers during these big events. The NHL likes to pick them for pretty much every single Winter Classic. So Chicago, we know it's you. Question 6. Who scored the first goal in a Winter Classic game? Was it Colby Armstrong, Brian Campbell, Sidney Crosby, or Evgeny Malkin? I've got to be honest here, guys, I have no idea the answer to this one. This is a really good question, actually, because you feel like a guy like Colby Armstrong, if he's on the list, you feel like it might be him. Brian Campbell was obviously a defenseman of the Sabres at the time, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe he was. Sidney Crosby and Malkin, of course, were with the Penguins. Did Crosby or Malkin score a goal in that Winter Classic game before the shootout? And was it the first one in a Winter Classic game ever? I'm going to go with the wildcard guess and go with Colby Armstrong here. I feel like he wouldn't be on this list if it wasn't him, so I'm going to go with him. Why not? Question 7. Where was this Winter Classic overtime winner scored? Was it Fenway Park, Lincoln Financial Field, Gillette Stadium, or Citizens Bank Park? Now, based on the thumbnail of that video, it's a Boston Bruins player, and the tagline is OT winner at the 2010 Winter Classic. So it's the Boston Bruins that were the first home team to win a Winter Classic, if I'm not mistaken then. So I probably should have gone with Boston in the previous one, but nonetheless, I've already pinned in my answer. I believe this was Fenway Park because it's Boston at home. I don't think it was any of the other arenas in this list. I'm going to go with Fenway Park because I remember it being a big event there and it pulled in a massive crowd. And of course, it was the home of one of the Boston baseball teams. So yeah, let's go with Fenway Park. Question 8. Which team is the only one to score more than 5 goals in a Winter Classic game? Was it the Boston Bruins, the Chicago Blackhawks, the Detroit Red Wings, or the New York Rangers? Now, I remember that the Rangers won 3-2 in a shootout, if I'm not mistaken, or in overtime, so I don't think it was the Rangers. They only scored 3 goals or so. The Chicago Blackhawks, they've been in so many that it could possibly be them. The Detroit Red Wings, they've played a couple, but have they racked up the score? And Boston, we just saw that one of their goals was an overtime game, so maybe they scored 5 goals, but was it a 5-4 win? Who knows? I'm going to go with a complete lucky guess here. I'm going to go with the Detroit Red Wings. They're the only team to score more than 5 goals. I might be wrong there. Let me know in the comments once again, guys. Penultimately, question number 9. Which was the last Winter Classic not played on New Year's Day? Was it 2010, 2012, 2017, or 2019? I'm going to go with, if it's the last Winter Classic not played on New Year's Day, if it's the most recent one, I'm going to go with 2019. I feel like that's the logical answer here. Go with the most recent one because potentially it wasn't played that day. I'm probably going to be wrong, but let's go with 2019. And finally, question 10, which Winter Classic game set an all-time NHL attendance record? Was it 2012, 2014, 2016, or 2019? Now, I believe it was the game Detroit versus Toronto in 2014, if I'm not mistaken. I think over 100,000 fans turned up to the game, so I'm going to go 2014. Let's see how we did, folks. 8 out of 10, okay, 80%. That's an A, right, guys? So which home team was the first to win an NHL Winter Classic? The Boston Bruins, as we realised after the fact. They defeated the Flyers 2-1 in overtime at Fenway Park, which I knew it was Fenway Park, so we've got that question right. January 1st, 2010. Who was denied by Henrik Lundqvist on this penalty shot? It was Danny Briere. He was stopped by Henrik Lundqvist with 19.6 seconds left in the game, and I believe that goal would have either tied it or won the game for them, so well done, Lundqvist. You're a king for a reason. The two teams from Canada are Montreal and Toronto, because Montreal played in 2016 and Toronto played in 2017. Toronto also played in 2014 as well. Who did Sidney Crosby beat for the shootout goal? Ryan Miller. Sidney Crosby scored on Ryan Miller to give the Penguins a 2-1 shootout victory at Ralph Wilson Stadium. Which team has appeared in the Winter Classic 4 times? Chicago, of course. However, they've lost all 4, which is a really interesting point. Who scored the first goal in a Winter Classic game? Colby Armstrong, our lucky guess. He scored it for Pittsburgh 21 seconds into the first Winter Classic game on January 1st, 2008, so lucky guess from me, but by process of elimination, why would he be on that list if not? Where was this Winter Classic overtime winner scored? Fenway Park, as I said. They won the 2010 Winter Classic at Fenway Park thanks to Marco Sturm's overtime winner. Which team is the only one to score more than 5 goals in a Winter Classic game? It was the Detroit Red Wings. I got that one right, lucky guess. They defeated Chicago 6-4 in the 2009 Winter Classic at Wrigley Field. I said Chicago beat them in the previous question, so I wouldn't have got that one right anyway. Which was the last Winter Classic not played on New Year's Day? Oh, it was 2017, so I got that one wrong by 2 years. It was played on January 2nd, the 2017 Winter Classic, because New Year's Day fell on a Sunday, which is very interesting to know. And then which Winter Classic game set an all-time NHL attendance record? 2014, like I thought, at Michigan Stadium between Detroit and Toronto, an NHL record attendance of 105,491 fans. So 8 out of 10, pretty good score. Could have done better, but could have done a lot worse, just like the Alexander Ovechkin trivia one as well. Let's move on to our third and final quiz of this video, shall we, guys? So here we are, ladies and gentlemen, the main event, the Stanley Cup Final Knowledge Quiz. Now, I thought this was a 25-question quiz about the Stanley Cup as a whole. Turns out it's about the Stanley Cup Final specifically, so I might not do as well as I thought I would on this one, but I'm ready. Let's get into it. So, question 1. Which was the last team to win 3 consecutive Stanley Cup titles? Was it the Edmonton Oilers, the New York Islanders, the Pittsburgh Penguins, or the Detroit Red Wings? Now, I'm 100% sure it is the Edmonton Oilers, ladies and gentlemen. The Islanders obviously won 4 straight, the Penguins won 2 straight, and the Red Wings, I don't think they won more than 2 straight either, so I'm going to go with the Edmonton Oilers here. Obviously, the 80s was the decade of the dynasties. First it was the Islanders, then it was the Oilers, so Edmonton, I pick you. Question 2. Corey Perry is the second player to reach the Stanley Cup Final in 3 consecutive seasons with 3 different franchises. Who was the first? Was it Mike Sillinger, Marian Hossa, Rick Tocchet, or Jerome Iginla? It was Marian Hossa, ladies and gentlemen. He did it first with the Pittsburgh Penguins, then with the Detroit Red Wings, and then with the Chicago Blackhawks. Finally won the cup in 2010 with Chicago, got his hands on it. So Marian Hossa, I choose you. Number 3. When was the last sweep in the Stanley Cup Final? Was it 1984, 1995, 1998, or 2006? Oh, okay, this is a good one. So 2006 was Carolina versus the Oilers, and that was a 7-game series, so it wasn't then. 1998, I feel like it's that one, because that was Detroit versus the Washington Capitals, right? And Detroit swept Washington 4-0, so I'm going to go with 1998, I'm pretty sure that's the answer. Question 4, when was the last time the Stanley Cup Final ended with an overtime goal? Was it 2014, 2010, 2000, or 1999? It is 2014, ladies and gentlemen. I know that one for a fact, because it was the New York Rangers versus the LA Kings, and Alec Martinez scored that overtime goal in Game 6, if I'm not mistaken, to take their second cup in 3 years and completely destroy all of my dreams. Alec Martinez! Number 5. Who was the Conn Smythe Trophy winner for the Avalanche in their first Stanley Cup win in 1996? Was it Patrick Roy, Peter Forsberg, Claude Lemieux, or Joe Sakic? I am almost entirely certain that it was Patrick Roy in this one. I might be wrong. It could be Joe Sakic, it could be Peter Forsberg, it could be any of them, to be honest. But I'm going to go with Patrick Roy, because obviously he is a stud netminder. He won the Conn Smythe with Montreal during their last cup win in 1993, and I think he got another one in 1996 as well, so I'm going to go with Patrick Roy. Question 6. Which player has won the most Stanley Cup titles? Is it Jacques Lemaire, Henri Richard, Jean Beliveau, or Serge Savard? It is Henri Richard for winning 10 different Stanley Cups, and he was with the Habs for a very long time, and they obviously had several different dynasties, and he was a big part of them. So Henri Richard, I choose you. Question 7. Who was the first player in hockey history to win an Olympic gold medal and a Stanley Cup title in the same year? Was it Ken Morrow, Steve Yzerman, Mark Messier, or Johnny Bower? So obviously we've got to go with guys that won an Olympic gold medal. I know Steve Yzerman has, I believe Mark Messier has as well, and obviously Yzerman and Messier have both won the Stanley Cup as well. I know that Steve Yzerman joined the Triple Gold Club relatively early on, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think any of those other guys, other than Messier perhaps, are part of the Triple Gold Club, so I'm going to go with Steve Yzerman on that one, because did Mark Messier win the Stanley Cup in the 80s and an Olympic gold medal during that time? No, because NHL players didn't go to the Olympics during that time. They didn't start going till like 1994, did they? Which is when New York won the Stanley Cup. So actually, I'm going to go Mark Messier. A complete U-turn, ladies and gentlemen. Surprise twist. There you go. Question 8. Which team appeared in the Stanley Cup Final in its first 3 seasons spanning from 1968 to 1970, but lost all 3? Was it the Los Angeles Kings, the Pittsburgh Penguins, the Philadelphia Flyers, or the St. Louis Blues? It was the St. Louis Blues. They were an expansion franchise in 1967. They made it to 3 consecutive Stanley Cup Finals because all the expansion teams played each other in the postseason to then play one of the original 6 teams in the finals. And of course, during that span, Bobby Orr scored his incredible goal against the Blues to win the Stanley Cup. So it is the St. Louis Blues. Question 9. Who is the first player to score on a penalty shot in the Stanley Cup Final? Was it Pavel Bure, Peter Klima, Chris Pronger, or Ron Suter? Now, I know that Pavel Bure had a penalty shot in the 1994 final, but I'm pretty sure that Mike Richter saved it, so I don't think it was him. Peter Klima, Chris Pronger, and Ron Suter, I have no idea. This is a very lucky guess for me. I'm gonna assume it was Peter Klima. I have no reason to decide him, but I'm going with him anyway. And finally, question 10. Who scored the only goal in the Lightning's decisive Game 5 win during last season's Stanley Cup? Was it Ryan McDonough, Ross Colton, Nikita Kucherov, or Braden Point? I'm pretty sure that it was Ross Colton because he was the one that scored the goal to win the Stanley Cup for them. I'm gonna go with Ross Colton on that one. How did I do? 6 out of 10. Oh, okay, that wasn't very good for me. Not the best, but let's see which ones I got wrong, shall we? So question 1, it was the New York Islanders, the last team to win 3 consecutive titles from 1980 to 1983. Question 2, was Marian Hossa the first player to reach 3 consecutive finals with 3 different teams? I talked about that in a video a couple of months ago, so I already knew that. Question 3, when was the last sweep in the Stanley Cup Final? 1998, like I said. Detroit swept the Washington Capitals. Question 4, when was the last time the Stanley Cup Final ended with an overtime goal? 2014, like I said. Alec Martinez scored at 14:43 of the second overtime in Game 5. It was Game 5, not Game 6, my mistake. Who was the Conn Smythe winner for the Avalanche in 1996? It was Joe Sakic. He was my second pick. I should have gone with him, but I went with Roy. He won it thanks to a 4-0 Stanley Cup Final win over the Panthers. Number 6, who has the most Stanley Cups? Henri Richard. 11 Stanley Cup titles, not 10, 11 in 20 years between 1955 and 1975. What an incredible achievement for him. That's never going to be matched ever again, if you ask me. Number 7, the first player to win an Olympic gold and a Stanley Cup in the same year, Ken Morrow. Interesting. So he won a gold medal with the United States and a Stanley Cup with the New York Islanders in 1980. Oh, so he was part of the Miracle on Ice team. Oh, I never would have guessed that. And I did a video on the Miracle on Ice team like 2 months ago. Oh, okay, fair enough, Ken Morrow. Nice one, dude. It was the St. Louis Blues who appeared in 3 straight finals during their first 3 seasons and lost all 3. One of them, of course, like I said, against the Boston Bruins. It was Chris Pronger who scored the first penalty shot in the Stanley Cup Finals. He did it for the Edmonton Oilers against the Carolina Hurricanes in Game 1 of the 2006 final. I just guessed that one, so I never would have got that one. And who scored the only goal in the Lightning's decisive Game 5 victory? It was Ross Colton. So Ross Colton scored at 13:27 of the second period in the Lightning's 1-0 win over the Canadiens, and they won their second straight Stanley Cup. So I'm pretty sure that I got 7 out of 10 on this based on my answers. I'm not sure if it registered the Ross Colton pick at the end for me, but I got question 10 right, I got question 8 right, I got question 6, question 4, 3, 2, and 1, and that's 7 out of 10. So maybe one didn't register while I was doing it, or maybe I accidentally clicked the wrong one, but I'm pretty sure I got 7 out of 10 instead of 6 out of 10. So we got 6 out of 8 on the first one, 8 out of 10 on the next one, 7 out of 10 on the one after that, so we're rocking a pretty solid 75-80% across the entire thing. I think that's a pretty successful go of quizzes for me. Maybe I do know what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe I'm not just some guy that sits here and talks about hockey in front of a green screen every week. Maybe there is actually some knowledge there. Who would have thought, right? And on that note, I'm going to end today's video. That was my attempt to test my NHL knowledge. What do you guys think about the quizzes that I took and the results that I received? Are you impressed that I got so many questions right? Are you disappointed with the ones that I got wrong? Or would you like me to try some more quizzes in a future video later down the line? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear what you guys think. But thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you have enjoyed. Please feel free to like, subscribe, share, or watch some of my other videos. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye. A big thank you to Bexy93, Burned Retinas, Clayton Hallam, Drew Fawcett, Houston NG, Raquel, and Worthless Pieces for helping support this video via Patreon. If you too want to help support the channel a little bit further and get a shout out at the end of every future video, make sure you head over to patreon.com/oddmanrush and become a patron today.